Warning. The following video contains strong language and a gamer who believes Halo 5's user interface is shit. Oh, and this warning has strong language too. Viewer discretion is advised. Halo 5's user interface is really shitty, both on its own and compared to its predecessors. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. There's plenty of people out there that are incredibly disappointed with the user interface. Now, if you want to understand what user interface actually is, just pause the video and read this block of text. So what I'm going to do with this video is show you all the problems with Halo 5's UI. And by the end of this video, I'm going to answer the question, why is Halo 5's user interface so shitty? So let's Spartan charge our way into this, shall we? Number 1, the main menu. Just look at the main menu. Look at how boring it is. Why is the background just a bunch of random ships floating around in front of a random planet? What's up with the title? Why is it so small? Why is the menu so focused on this random ship? How about a menu that has something to do with the Guardians? Or what about Lock and Chief? This is still a Halo game, isn't it? So why not one of those cool moving menus like the classic Halos? Or something to do with the Halo rings at all? Nah. Just put a bunch of random ships in front of a random planet and call it good. I don't get it. This is supposed to be what? The ship Infinity? That ship has almost no relevance to anything that happens in Halo 5, so why is it the focus of the main menu? I don't know. The main menu is the least of Halo 5's user interface problems, and it's disappointing to see how uninspired it is. Although, the main menu music is pretty good. Not gonna lie. Number 2, pre-game lobbies and post-game stats. This is a big one, and generally what most people complain about. So to illustrate just how bad Halo 5's UI is, let's compare it to Halo Reach. In the multiplayer lobbies, we can see emblems. Alright, now let's check out Halo Reach. In the pre-game lobby, we can see people's gamer tags, we can see what team they're going to be on, we can look at their emblem, we can also see who has a mic plugged in, who's talking, and who's in a party. We can see what rank they are, we can look at their armor, we can see how much of the armory they've unlocked, how many commendations they've done, we can check their service record, we can see how well they did in Halo 3's campaign and ODST's campaign. Emblems. We can view their gamer profile, we can submit player feedback on them, we can see their career stats, their clan tag, and most of all, holy shit, a mute button in the pre-game lobby for Halo Reach? My god. Now, recently, 343 added a mute all button, but if we could mute specific people in Halo Reach, why in the name of fuck can we not do the same in Halo 5? So that means if you're in a lobby and someone's going blah, 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 your choices are mute your TV or fucking deal with it. Oh, but what if you want to talk to someone else that's in the lobby and you got someone going blah, blah, blah? Well, too fucking bad. Did 343 think that everyone who plays Halo 5 is a goddamn saint with an angelic voice, incapable of uttering nonsense like blah, blah? Would it have been that hard? Would it have been that exceedingly difficult to implement a simple option to allow players to mute people in the lobby? It really is no contest. Halo Reach has a far superior user interface than Halo 5. In Halo Reach, the commendations would max out after an insane amount of progress. And no matter how many games you played, it would take a very long time to max out your commendations. But in Halo 5, the commendations max out way too quickly. And once they're maxed out, that's it. No more progress. Not that this matters much since you can't even look at other people's commendations, but still. And since there are AI enemies in Halo 5, wouldn't it be cool to see how many legendary kills you got? Or how many elites you've killed, etc. There are no stats like that in this game. Medals are important in Halo 5, and they shouldn't be neglected. There's even a Warzone boost for getting the most medals, but you can't even keep track of that during the game or post-game. What a joke. In Halo 5, they introduce all these new medals, but there's no way to look at them in the actual game. Top Gun? Well, what's that mean? Big Game Hunter? What were those medals I got? What do they mean? How do I look them up? Oh, you just gotta go to the internet, of course. You gotta leave your game and go to the internet. Why did 343 step so far backwards when it came to post-game stats? Now, some of you out there might be saying, Axeman, why do you care so much about the medals? Why? Because there's a feeling of accomplishment after you finish an awesome game and want to check how you did. Oh yeah, got 2 Killtaculars. Let me ask you something. If you happen to get a Killionaire in a game, wouldn't you want to see that precious medal in the post-game stats? Fuck yeah, you would! So the lack of post-game stats and medals is a travesty. We can all agree on that. Look at this concept art for the beta of Halo 5. Look at all the information we have. How does the beta look better than the finished product? Number 3. More boneheaded mistakes. So after the infamous typo in 343's previous game, I never thought I would see these kinds of mistakes again. Oh, how naive I was. Alright, now, I want you guys to tell me if you see anything weird about the layout of the rec store. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with 343's inability to count properly. Well, let's take a look at the prices of these rec packs. $3, $2, in-game currency, $9, $15, $20. The prices for these packs are not in order, and it looks stupid. It looks like somebody just added all these extra bonus packs after the game was already released. Oh wait. Speaking of 343's inability to count properly, look at the emblems here. Look at the order they are in. Okay, the number 2 is there, number 0 is there. I mean, what the fuck kind of logic does this follow? They aren't even sorted by rarity, alphabetically, or by number. It's just a jumbled fucking mess. You can't even sort the number emblems properly. And if all that wasn't bad enough, 343 didn't even organize the custom games and maps properly. You're telling me nobody at 343 took the time to sort these maps and game modes by alphabetical order or anything? Now you might think this is nitpicking, but in reality, these are elementary mistakes. Even though they're very small in the grand scheme of things, they draw attention to themselves, and it just points to incompetence. Number 5, why isn't this working? Someone please tell me why this isn't working. There are bugs in any game. It's just a part of gaming. But when the bugs break the functionality of a game, then we have a problem. The best part of Halo 5's UI is when it resets your level, emblem, armor, then doesn't give you access to your Rex. And then what the hell is going on here? Everyone has the same emblem and color scheme? That is beautiful. And sometimes when you're in game, it doesn't even show you your Rex. Sometimes the game doesn't even show your friends on the list, even if the Xbox says otherwise. I mean, what the fuck? And sometimes when you try to back out of matchmaking, the game just doesn't listen to you. God, just let me back out. Just let me back out. Jesus Christ, let me back out. All right, so I just finished this game and I'm still level 1 and it's not showing me any stats or experience or rec points that I got. God. These types of game-breaking bugs happen way too often to be passed off as coincidence. Number 6, too little information is relayed to the player. I already talked about the lack of post-game medals and stats, so this section will focus on other areas of Halo 5 that lack proper information. Another thing that's really annoying is that some of the maps in the game have the same static image. What's even worse is that all the breakout maps have the same image, so there's no way to tell them apart. You just have to remember which map is which based on the name and the description. What a bunch of shit. So one of the cool things about Halo 5 is now there's these Spartan companies, which are like Spartan guilds in a way. It's a really cool feature. Only problem is, there's nothing in the actual game that relates to Spartan companies. How about some sort of clan support or a clan friend list or something that relates to Spartan companies in the game? Number 7, forcing the player to leave the game. So if you want to look up your medals, how many games you need to win to rank up, or any info on your Spartan company, guess what you have to do? You have to leave the fucking game. Why? If 343 can put this simple information online and on Halo Waypoint, why can't they put it in the game? Number 8, the rec system. So as we see the amount of problems with Halo 5's user interface grow, there's a few things that really stick out in my mind, and most of them have to deal with the rec system. The rec stations in-game are incredibly clunky to use. It always feels like I'm moving way too fast for the menu. Because there's so many recs the station has to load, it makes finding your weapons and setting your loadout a real pain in the ass. Speaking of recs, why in God's name can we only sell one rec at a time? Why? There's a video on YouTube of a guy selling 130 carbines. Do you know how long it took him? 16 minutes! 16 fucking minutes to sell carbines! Are you insane, 343? What made you think this was a good idea? Why didn't you implement a counter of some kind? And you know what? This guy probably had a bunch of mongooses and scout warthogs too. So this isn't even all the wrecks that he wanted to sell. This was just the carbines, and it took 16 minutes. You think anyone wants to spend a fucking hour selling these reg cards? Yes, we all do. It's a good thing Halo fans were able to create a rec extension that allows them to sell the recs much faster. Thank you, Halo fans. These are the types of things that really make 343 Industries look incompetent. When the players come up with the solution to an obvious problem before the game developers even acknowledge that problem. So a way to prevent rec station lag, 343 could have easily come up with a favorites list. Couldn't there have been some sort of rec level loadouts, preset loadouts that you can just click level 3 rec loadout and it'll give you those weapons that you like? That would cut down on lag, and it would also eliminate a bunch of the weapons and recs that people don't use. In conclusion, Halo 5 is a great game, and it's incredibly frustrating when the user interface continuously pops up to cause problems with an uninspired main menu, pre-game lobbies that leave everything to be desired, lack of post-game medals, a severe downgrade of stats, boneheaded mistakes, horrendous organization, an abundance of game-breaking bugs, stats and information you can't see in the game, a clunky, lag-filled rec system, and a bunch of shitty, mind-numbing design choices. The poor quality of Halo 5's user interface is absolutely baffling to me and thousands of other Halo fans. So why is Halo 5's user interface so shitty? To be honest, I really don't have a good explanation. It's because the people that made the user interface did a shitty job. I mean, that's it. There's no conspiracy, there's no reason why it would be designed shitty on purpose. They just did a bad job. And it's so weird because the previous Halo games did it right. Why, at this point in time with this Halo game, did it fuck up the user interface is beyond me, because they have so many good examples from what Bungie did. But maybe it's because they wanted to do something different than Bungie. Now, despite all the bad things I've said about the UI in this video, there are a few bright spots. They fixed a few things since the game was released. The maps and game modes are now organized, the mute all button is a step in the right direction, and they've provided a few quality of life changes. But even saying that, there's still a long ways to go and many more problems to fix. And if we ever want an intuitive, beautiful user interface for Halo 5 and even Halo 6, we're gonna have to highlight these problems and let 343 Industries know what works, what doesn't work, what looks good, and what is intuitive. As a wise man once said, the only thing necessary for a shitty UI to triumph is for good programmers to do nothing. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you have an opinion on Halo 5's user interface, please share it in the comments. Post down in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. And do keep in mind, I read every comment. If you enjoyed the video, then subscribe to my channel, where I talk about the controversial issues of Halo 5 and do a bit of fun editing here and there. Alright guys, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!